going to take this, and of course, you guys will have caught the loot bet odds there. Definitely agreeing with us pretty heavily. And Axile also agreeing with us as he opens up. Nice, easy, no damage taken off the back of the boost, I believe. Rest of the team going to try and move in and come through from short here. Not looking too good. Inters will find the head of the first. They're yet to do any damage. Utility over the top has not really helped them out massively, and it's a discombobulated attack. Inters has looked solid on the pistol so far. Looking for a few more, but I feel like the round itself out of the realms of doability. Yeah, all going to be on to Ivan here. 1 versus 5. Shiro's a bit low. Might find a head, but not going to be the case. Clean pistol to open up.
Very clean, and now we'll see if they can take control of the CT side economy early on, not get caught out by anything weird or cheesy or just explosive by TIKITAKAN. I'm still not entirely sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are... It's a bit all over the place, isn't it, to be fair.
So we'll be seeing what they're going to be doing, mostly staying together. Going to be rushing the molly, at least one of them, with the bomb solo, which is a bit inadvisable, but he does drop it in a nice and secure spot. They did get tagged up by those double grenades, and well, the CTs, they're perfectly happy to take that chip damage and go back to A site. Their mission basically complete. You don't want to die too far forward with these Glocks over here.
Yeah. Definitely capable of being overwhelmed and whatnot if they're not careful, and really respecting that fact. I think I would assume they're expecting the eco, but with a team like this, you never know is a really good mentality to take, right? So they certainly need to be careful of that fact. Great little flash coming in here. Just the one, but a lot of information. Secondary flash is a lot more solid. He does go down. And any damage is good damage in a round like that from the T side, but ultimately a nice, easy cleanup and money made. Shiro happy to go down. He got 3 frags. That pays for his MP9, so a nice result.
Oh, definitely. And just being the only guy that dies in these kinds of rounds, you're basically printing money on the CT side by doing that, because if 3 of you die, obviously you're losing, but only 1 of you, a worthy sacrifice, and really just a high percentage play overall. But we'll be seeing what happens on this full buy versus full buy, lacking utility on both sides, as the terrorists take over short with some flash assists, and short is surely in their control, but Jur trying to get something more, turns around, the super gets the double spray down with an MP4. Yeah, M4 silenced. The silencer threw me off.
Ah, well, I mean, very apt, because it seemed to throw the T side off as well, right? They really didn't expect that.
No.
And not able to react fast enough to spin around, sort it out. A really nice take from GAMBIT youngsters. Kyrie trying to do what he can here, but easier said than done. Spots out Shiro, but of course Axile, his bodyguard, is there to take him down. 5-on-2, just like that. Really quick round here, and it's fallen out of control. The TIKITAKAN. Well, that's what I'm going to go with. Separate it out so it rolls off a little easier, I suppose.
Like a tiki bar.
Yeah, something like that. I hope that's okay. You know, they know where to find me if they want to let me know the proper pronunciation.
You really can't know with these Swedes. Some of the pronunciations I've seen from them are completely weird. As well as this take, it's relatively slow. The CTs dying 1 by 1, and eventually they do fall with a 2v1 situation. 7 HP on Palmy. Gonna be planting that bomb, but falling back while making noise. Surely the CTs have heard that, but they don't expect him to be at the aggressive angle. Goes down at the end though, 7 HP, not enough to work with, and GAMBIT youngsters taking this into a 3-0. Money on the T's probably going to be enough for an okay buy. Yeah. They would have to have 0 utility on 3 players in this round. So we'll see what they're going to do with that money. Maybe get some deagles and armor, save up for a proper execute. But I'm not sure if TIKITAKAN are all about that execute life. Are they more of a scrappy team?
Well, I think you have your answer.
Well, yeah,
Somewhere down the middle, actually. Yeah, I thought with Avon getting the AK, the decision was made, but it's more of a hero AK play.
Yeah. Scout, though, still interesting to see. With 2.8k remaining on the player, he can certainly afford that, and they die in their rush through smoke. Definitely a lot of utility slowing them down there, and the smoke ending up being a one-way as well for Supra, getting a double there on short. Just, he has been playing that position quite well. I mean, it's only been, this is the 4th round, but hey, good start for Supra.
Yeah, he was playing really well yesterday as well. So I'm kind of excited to see. Normally, I mean, it's kind of like Inters who's the more supportive element, and Supra sits in that weird kind of limbo, I suppose, where you have the likes of Axile and Shiro fragging away, Nafany in-game leading, as well as pulling out some frags every now and then. But I want to say yesterday as well on Overpass, so it seems like Overpass is Supra's map. You just have players like that who really pop off on certain maps for sure. So,
oh yeah, especially if they give you just the right positions that you always want to play. If you're fed those positions and maybe even the money for it, certain players are just insane on certain spots. Not quite famous enough to get the spot named after him, though. We won't be calling that place Supra anytime soon. Like Olaf on Train. But yeah, Palmy just walking around with the scope. Maybe he's gonna find the head there onto barrels. Almost, but no cigar. Goes down. 4-0 for Gambit Youngsters, and T-side economy enough for a very good buy. I wonder what they're going to do different this round. I mean, previously they've been pretty aggressive on a lot of parts of the map, even though they had utility to back them up a little bit. We'll be seeing if Gambit Youngsters, I don't know, adjust to whatever TIKITAKAN are going to be doing differently this time, or maybe they're going to do the same thing over and over, and Gambit Youngsters eventually get caught off by that. Who knows? They won't be seeing this coming.
Oh man, Axile kind of fluffing it up ever so slightly. Shiro trying to pick up the pieces down in connector. Fusion's left on 2 HP after that exchange, actually. Didn't quite catch that. Weird exchanges here across the board. TIKITAKAN kind of coming out on top, but it's not solid, Sermon. There's certainly a chance for Gambit Youngsters, you know, one of these players to just land a clean spray down, and suddenly the round is back in control of the CTs. So best chance they've had for a while, but like, yeah, is it enough?
They could sneeze in Shushan's direction and he would die. And it looks like, yeah, this position is particularly difficult for him. Interns just playing this jail position, he knows like the off angle, he's going to be spraying at them. And if they line up for him, Shushan dies before anything can even happen. Even this Molotov going to be very dangerous. He can't advance at all. Shiro looking at short, gets one. Can't pick up the second as he gets picked off, but the bomb is dropped onto B, and well, Shushan just not ready for that wide peek over there. Can't get the shot off in time. Interns finishes it off. And TIKITAKAN playing this round a bit slowly, but I mean, no, there were loads of weird trades there at the beginning. And then they sort of slowed down at the back on the back of that. Bit of a altogether kind of presence there at Fountain and Playground, just waiting for CT aggression. Not going to be getting it though, as they were seeing it the previous round. TIKITAKAN being a bit more cautious, as Gambit Youngsters are content with camping the sites this time, mixing it up, while faking some presence toward long with flashes, forcing TIKITAKAN to use some utility of their own to clear some angles, or perhaps commit more people than they would have otherwise.
I like it. I do like it. A change of pace. after a somewhat dicey 5th for them. Definitely showing a little more respect here. Shiro on the peaks, throwing all this utility, showing presence. Axile, meanwhile, in, well, either the best spot or the worst spot of the round. It looks like it's going to be the best as he picks up 2, swinging out to get a 3rd as well. Runs out of ammo, but Axile stands strong. Really well played, using Shiro as the bait. He doesn't even go down, so fantastic stuff from them. They're fully distracted, and again, walking into another angle that Nafany just gets the shots in the side of the head. But this is really well done, right? They're so sure of the fact that Shiro's on default that they just tunnel for him.
Yeah, that really is just a coin flip of a spot, isn't it? It's either they check it or they don't, and if they don't, catastrophic, especially if you have inferior weaponry there. An up on both sides with a full buy coming in, as TIKITAKAN have yet to pick up a single round. With some AWP aggression coming down mid, another change of pace. Doesn't work out this time though, Shiro goes down. And the T's have a modest amount of map control. They have B short, they have Monster, obviously, and Underpass, while short and long A continue to be uncontested. Oof, some nasty dinks through the walls starting to come in. Don't actually do that much damage, but it does hurt when it happens.
Well, I mean, any advantage they can get is going to help for sure. Oh, Axile. He fight to lose there. That could really make a difference here. Massive amounts of control gained off that frag, to be honest. Like, all the way into bathrooms. Probably most of the A site. Nafany kind of playing it passively. Oh, and Ivan on the flank is able to drop super easily.
And now the CTs can't even be sure about where the attack is coming in, so...
Yeah, so true.
Really confused there on the stairs. Just, do I help my teammate here on A? Do I go back down to B? It looks like he's going to be making the correct decision, and they do have a little bit of a wrap on the T's, who may not be expecting it. Does check the angle and get the kill, though. Shushan does. It's all down to Inters, who is looking to save this M4, if I'm not mistaken. Knows there's presence on B, though, so he can't exactly just jump off out of heaven. Which is a ridiculous amount, like, to drop down from. Your thighs would be poking out of your lungs at that point, I believe. Video game physics, though.
Yeah, well, you know. What can you do? Just gotta roll with it. Question it slightly, but...
Would be a lot less fun without it.
Yeah, for sure.
So the first round for TIKITAKAN. And the first time we're going to be mentioning our case partner, Hellcase. Use codes Malta V and Malta V15. Just scroll on down on Twitch, see those links, and get yourself something nice. So this round's going to be live. Again, a full buy on both sides, and obviously Gambit youngsters having a bunch of reserve money there. Would be dangerous if they lost another round, though.
Yeah, definitely a chance for TIKITAKAN to come back into things off the back of this one. Great angle from Axile. Love this. Massive off angle, right? And Kyrie just walking around straight into it. Easy frag. Also able to get the smoke down to make sure trades are difficult. Takes the second fight easily. As Axile stands strong in connector. Looking really good. Flash over the top. Maybe biting off a bit more than he can chew there. The Jerders take him down, and a 4 versus 3. So still certainly recoverable, but Gambit youngsters with a solid lead early on. Ooh.
Nice shot
from
there.
Shiro. Here we go. That 2-man advantage coming in solidly here. I feel like the B-bomb site is kind of vulnerable with only Inters chilling, but I suppose he either gets a kill or just lets them take the site. Yeah, and the utility as well to split them up, do the damage. Boost coming over the top. Not even going to happen. Wow. Really, really clean stuff in the end, actually. I felt like the B-bomb site was vulnerable. How wrong was I? Maybe that was the trap that Gambit youngsters were trying to set.
Well, it goes to show if they use the Molotov on short, we are looking at a bit of a different round here, as the Sandbags player would have had to burn a smoke for himself, and then the, I suppose, Molotov would have been delayed a little bit more. There were a lot of things that could have gone differently there, but a solid hold all in all. Many players out in playground. Axial might want to be careful here. Ooh, pre-nading the... Oh. Just threw it back. Another slow-paced round, and we're going to be seeing the Ts just slowly take mid-control as the CTs continue to stay in their bomb sites. Although, I hope they're going to do one of those flash retakes later into the round, maybe with 45 seconds remaining. That's when you go for the info plays to really see if you can stack anything. We'll be getting some decent amount of information that there's someone here on short, though.
Really slowing it down in this round. I feel like both teams are kind of happy for this change of pace once again.
35 seconds left, though. They're going to have to start moving, and Axel spots one. They're on long. I mean, 25 seconds. Guys are going to have to go at some point. The bomb is still down in toilets. I think this is straight up Navi move. I guess they're just waiting that all the CTs rotate to B, thinking it was a fake on A initially, and these kills from Dur might be helping out in that sense. Although, as I say, the bomb
is... time?
I mean, no, they don't. They are now saving. An AWP and 2 AKs, certainly worth saving, although no money gained. 0 money on basically all of them, Palmy with 400. As the remaining players will be able to buy themselves modestly. Dur only getting a armor and AK if he chooses to buy, but Aben gonna get some utility on top of that as well. So, I mean, why not? Sometimes, you know, if you get nothing done by 35 seconds and the player dies in a crucial moment, you still have 3 alive. You can still do a full buy on the next round, albeit no utility. Maybe it is worth it to just do that instead of throwing everything away.
Yeah, really starting to look dire here, and I think they kind of know it with the scoreline, with how dominant some of these rifle rounds are looking. They've brought it close in a couple, obviously picked one up, but ultimately Gambit youngsters playing how we expected them to. This is something I talked about yesterday when we were watching them against the Blue Jays. They are a really good team at kind of beating the lower level squads. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but from time to time we do see these upsets come in. We do see, I talked about the overconfidence and stuff, and it can certainly still happen to Gambit youngsters, but they seem to be one of the better teams at being like, okay, don't care. I mean, TIKITAKAN at the moment, unranked on HLTV. Don't care, mate. We're going to play our best Counter-Strike, and this is what it produces. Super in with 3. Int is able to hold off as well. Not a chance. TIKITAKAN trying to go for a classic, you know, take a pause and then burst out on the B-bomb site. Incredibly ill-advised through the smoke. I feel like if you're going for that, you maybe need one over the top and then one also down below, to be honest, and then you go. If, you know, you throw those 2 flashbangs at the same time. But they don't do that, and Inters and Super are not blinded at all, able to play the anti-flash easily and just get, well, a triple for Super, 1 for Inters. Not quite as flashy for Inters, but still really solid hold. And that kind of culminates the point that I'm trying to make. They play very, very well when you expect them to. They don't underestimate their opponents. I think it was alternate attacks yesterday that we, or it might have been the day before, that got beat by, I want to say Blue Jays. Actually, no, it was Navi Jr. yesterday, yeah. So it was Navi Jr. yesterday, beat alternate attacks. They went 16-1 on one of the maps. And, like, the final 6 or 7 rounds, they just look so deflated and beaten and tilted, you know, visibly tilted. And I feel like Gambit youngsters do a really good job of not getting to that point and not being like, wow, can't believe we let these guys beat us or get a leg up on us or whatever. They just come in, whether you're Complexity, who they have indeed played and, you know, taken some maps off, or unranked TIKITAKAN, the fastest team in the West in terms of being put together. They play the same Counter-Strike, and I think that's a really good, commendable trait that they have.
Fast execute onto B, though. In terms of Nafni cleaning this one up very nicely. They've been getting one first trouble, but ultimately falls in the end. And I do completely agree with you. It is an underrated quality to have in a team where you just never go down to lesser teams. Alternate attacks, I had them for one of those teams, really. Seeing their match history and just a very long win streak, not that many close games against very inferior opposition. And Gambit youngsters seem to be in that camp as well. Just it's almost like an Astralis quality. You would never see Astralis get upset one against back in their heyday, obviously. Where if an inferior team went up against them, they just got destroyed, you know? And it's that kind of consistency that really brings something. Supra just going mad right now, and Shiron spots a take in the making, but Axial with the flank as well doesn't get spotted as fast as he probably should have, but gets another kill on top of that. And Palmy goes down on A site. 1-1-1 the score line is. Yeah, but youngsters with the 2 1s instead of 1.
Yeah, really strange to see it. It felt like maybe 15, 20 minutes ago, this game's been really fast. It's been really, really fast. Like, not only is it Gambit youngsters being dominant in terms of the scoreline, but in terms of the rounds themselves. Early on, seemed a lot more competitive, but TIKITAKAN hitting this brick wall very early on, as we expected. And they're just not able to get over the hurdle. Again, as we expected. There are a lot of very obvious, very problematic shortfalls for this team, I think, and now it's really coming to a head against the opposition such as Gambit youngsters. They're going to be able to abuse these facts. You've got some great individuals. They have had some good moments, you know, Palmy looking really, really good. I want to say in like the 3rd or 4th round where they nearly pulled it back, he got like 2 or 3 kills really quickly, right? They do have those moments, but structurally not fantastic. And I think the thing is, it's really weird as well on a map like Overpass, picking it. It's a very mid-round based kind of map. You need to be making those on-the-fly decisions together and soundly, and they also need to be good decisions. And it definitely seems to be something that they've struggled with. We watched the round where, you know, they run out of time and all that kind of stuff. So certainly an odd one, but they've managed to find the opener here. Ooh, and Nafny's going to get caught with an aid in hand, surely. Yep, gets taken down by it. Haven, this is not looking too good. Shiro, that's wild. Flash comes over the top. He doesn't know what to do. Does he nade? Does he run? And he ends up getting taken down. So the best chance in a while here for TIKITAKAN. And of course, it comes off of the force buy. This is where teams like this thrive. They catch Gambit youngsters completely off guard multiple times and have a solid chance of picking up a second.
Absolutely. TIKITAKAN just, you know, getting lucky that one time, I think. There was a nice Tech-9 kill in toilets, getting them the early man advantage, and then it sort of snowballed off of that with some nice kills left and right, of course. And the round will be going their way, but they need to get lucky approximately, 14 more times in a row for them to win this game, and I don't see that happening at all. Gambit youngsters playing a lot more consistent, I suppose. They don't have to get lucky to win the rounds, so the favor will always be in, you know, in them. But we'll see if TIKITAKAN can pull anything off. I think on this T side, how many rounds do you think? I mean, they basically have to win everything from now on to stand a chance, really, in the next half.
Yeah, right. Like, any help they can get. 11's already kind of dire. Not completely impossible. maybe once we start getting to 12, 13 rounds, you kind of go, wow, okay, they're gonna have to defy the odds massively, and you know, a 1 in 100 game from them, maybe even more than that. But that certainly means they need to be picking up as many rounds as they possibly can in the remainder of this first half, and then probably the pistol into the second to just get some momentum and a nice cushion of rounds to work with.
Ooh, Axel, bit dangerous. Okay, no, he is far forward. His gun barrel is showing though, so he's going to get traded as well, and that's 2 quick kills onto A. Talk about luck, or just like a misplay from Gambit youngsters, uncharacteristically. As the A bomb site hit is on its way. 3 versus 4 for now, but Nafny, that was some dodgy clipping on that truck, but he does pick up both kills, and it's all down to Shushan here in the end, with the bomb still unplanted and down on the A bomb site. That was a close one. It might still,
yeah,
it might still be a close one. Okay, yeah, if that happens, I suppose Shushan does have a chance in the map, but he does make a whole lot of noise. Inters knows he can just peek at a random time, and chances are he won't be looking at truck at that time. Gets the kill in the end. This spray down. A lot of those bullets just hit the truck for some reason. It's quite annoying when that happens.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit.
And yeah, with 12 rounds on Gambit's side, this is looking one-sided as hell.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we were talking about. This is where it starts to get into the areas of, like, you need to play amazingly well on your CT side, and I just don't think it's going to happen for them. That's another awkward nade exchange for Gambit youngsters. This time Axile. Last time it was Shiro, not really sure of what to do, and getting a bit giddy on the peaks here. They're really happy with the way the half has already gone. Perhaps a bit greedy there from the primary A defenders.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were applauding them for not doing earlier on, that they don't disrespect their opponents like this. If you keep dying in those early picks, maybe stop going for them, maybe, you know, this is the only way they can lose this game still, by giving them rounds they don't really deserve, and going for early picks, I don't think it's really worth it. As they will finish this off in 12-3, and, well, it's a chance, but the pistol round surely will be a win condition for them today. Super there, yeah, with 16 kills.
Yeah, solid stuff. Honestly, I'm telling you, he's pretty damn good on this map. He is pretty damn good.
You can tell why they were willing to sacrifice, you know, the Russian homogeny by bringing in an Estonian.
Yeah, indeed.
It's worth it, I think. Having Supra on your team, you'll win more games than you'll lose with him, that's for sure.
100%. Whoa!
Okay. I still wouldn't take that bet from our betting partner, Loot.bet. 11-1, though. Oof.
It's not one you see very often, no.
You see them in, like, go into the 20s sometimes. Those, I would just put like 50 cents on that and see what happens.
You never know, yeah.
But for 10, I think this doesn't happen 1% at a time, let alone 10%. All I'm gonna say.
Indeed. Well, you never know. Odds need to be massively defied here. B-hit coming in, and they're very prepared for this. Dejor hiding away, 1 in at heaven, 2 players up on the boost. It's a nice little setup here. Shushin going to get taken down early. Dejor still alive over at barrels, and the Glocks has yet to close the gap. And they've been forced away. I think they've very quickly realized, wow, there's a lot of presence there. Maybe we need to rethink this or approach the A-bomb site instead. But for now, a man down. Pretty decent result for TIKITAKAN in the initial exchange. It's all a question of how things develop for them here, whether they play the mind games correctly. Are they going to start to rotate across to A? What's the plan? Shiro's all the way up here on A, but the bomb not quite joining him just yet, although it seems it wants to. Gambit Youngsters definitely going for a wacky mid-round call here to try and catch the CTs off guard, or, you know, keep them guessing. Like I say, the mind game's really coming into play here.
Oh yeah, Nafny is left over here on B short. This is definitely going... Oh, well, I was going to say that was definitely going to be a fake onto B from him while they execute on A, but it looks like Axel is rotating back toward B, and with 25 seconds remaining, not enough time to get to A. It's going to have to be an explosion sooner or later, and we're going to see Shiro on short joining them very soon. As he makes noise, and backup is surely called at this point. Carry trying to get someone trying to click on the heads, but the heads won't show themselves. And Jura with a very close-up angle can't get him in time. Two CT players in heaven, one of them going down, and now Carry, last survivor, without a kit as well. No, he does have a kit, and he does have a smoke, so this is very doable for him. But Shiro tags him down to 20 HP, still keeps spamming that smoke, and yeah, obviously you can't win that one, as he would have had time to spray down the entire smoke before the defuse could even occur, and with 20 HP, that's just one shot that happens to hit your legs. Will put you down. As Gambit youngsters pick up the pistol round. A win condition for TIKITAKAN.
Yeah, and that's going to be real salt in the wound, honestly. They guessed right. They had the initial advantage. It seemed everything was going well for them.
Hey, it's always 10% luck, 20% skill, and they got lucky on the guess, but the skill didn't come through there in the end.
Very true. Very true. Ecoing this one out as well, so really going deep, relying on their rifle buys and hoping that they can win round after round after round after round, right? It's going to be really tough for them here, and no real mistakes from here on in. Obviously, they've got a tiny bit of room to work with, but you don't want to be giving them 15 super early into your comeback, as it were. So, unenviable position right now. A very, very, very deep road ahead for TIKITAKAN.
Yeah, if you let them reach the 15 on the scoreboards, the pendulum of confidence is probably not going to swing back in your favor. That is pretty much game over at that point, as they only have to go for cheesy plays every single round. One of them is bound to work out eventually, and the game is surely theirs. Yeah, but youngsters going to be hanging on to those Mac 10s. They do have enough money for AKs, two of them do at least, but no real sense to play the long economic game in this sense. I think this is one of those times when you upgrade the rifle to rifles, as all that saved up money isn't going to be doing them any good if they, you know, they have all the rounds to burn. They can afford to lose as many as they want for the money. They can just play maximum potential early on.
Why not go for it?
Does feel good to rush with the Mac 10 though, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, I suppose. Especially if they're able to win it with this, it would be a real mind game. Of course, we're moving into Mirage after this, which is the pick of Gambit youngsters, so TIKITAKAN not really doing an awful lot here on their own map pick is somewhat worrying. And
props to
I've said
them,
it before, but I feel like Mirage is probably Gambit youngsters. It's like their home map. They don't get to play it as much anymore, because I feel like it's the map that they came to prominence on, so it gets banned away from them quite a lot. But whenever they can, they like to play it.
Yeah, and TIKITAKAN obviously had some other map that they really didn't want to get picked into, so they had to let him have that one. But yeah, on Overpass as well, I don't think, like, it is one of the highest win percentages for Gambit youngsters, so it is pretty weird that came out. And as I was talking about that, the entire B-bomb site completely taken. Gambit youngsters has it in control, and Shushan, the lone survivor, trying to save that AWP. I think at this point he just has to get some picks just for the econ damage. Because without it, you are kind of screwed in the long game.
I mean, you're really giving them the best of a bad situation there, you know. Trying to up their game, give them some hope. I feel like at this point, 12 rounds in a row required. even, you know, I don't know, if it were Astralis in this situation, or maybe not in their current form, but in their best form, I feel like they'd still end up losing to Gambit youngsters. So it's going to be very, very difficult, is the point I am trying to make. It is going to be really hard here
You
for
never
the
know.
CTs to come back.
What if TIKITAKAN has some sick CT side rotates we haven't seen yet?
I mean,
What if?
yeah, the thing is, I can give you that. I really appreciate your optimism, but it's like you can't make any mistakes, and we're only human. You have to play flawless Counter-Strike, you know.
Yeah.
And I just feel like something's going to come through. Maybe even something that's completely out of your control. That's just going to give Gambit youngsters the leg up they need. That's in your control though. Palm not getting the spray down will end up falling, so not looking too good. A missed shot from Shushin. They're just, yeah,
The
man.
shaky aim starting to show. I don't think they actually have this one.
They're not as clean. They're just not as comfortable here, and I think they were maybe expecting to do a little better on overpass, and it's gotten in their heads and their game plan and the way they are playing. It's a very mental game as Counter-Strike, and you see that come to a head. 5v3. Looking really good here. The full frontal attack. They're trying to keep it at bay with a few nades here and there. Super comes through. Aben in with one. They try and trade off the back of it, but not going to work out. 16-3. A flawless round to finish us off with, or near enough. Only the one player going down. Gambit youngsters, not only was the scoreline dominant, but the rounds very dominant as well. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Of course, that is the pick of TIKITAKAN, like we were saying. So it's somewhat worrisome going into Mirage that they were only able to pick up 3 rounds.
Definitely. And now on Gambit Youngsters pick, this is going to probably not going to go TIKITAKAN's way at all. But we'll see. Everyone plays Mirage. Everyone has strats for it. Everybody has the meta game is pretty stale for it at the moment. I'll put it that way. And if the meta game is stale, every team can play it. And if every team can play it, any team can win. And TIKITAKAN's going to need that.
Yeah, well, look, man, ever the optimist for them. I hope they can make it a bit more competitive, but ultimately, we thought it was going to be tough. It turns out it's going to be really tough. We'll see whether they can pull things back on Mirage. We'll be back.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
And we're back with more Malta Vibes action brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. I'm Scriv. We've got Sermon on the cams this time as well. And we are going to be moving into our second map, Mirage, shortly. Now, elephant in the room. Whose pick is it? No one knows, really. I'm pretty sure the admins aren't going to get it wrong. HLTV seems to be up and down and changing them, like the seasons. I'm pretty sure here we'll go with the authority on it, right? The admins and whatnot that posted. I did put it in the chat as well for those of you keeping up, but that posted it into our Discord. Overpass was Gambit Youngster's pick. So this, therefore, is TIKITAKAN's pick. It was a little backwards, like I say. HLTV was right and then wrong and then right. I think is right at the moment. So it seemed, for whatever reason, it got swapped across. But either way, we can move in and we can talk about Mirage and how we think things are going to go down. Obviously, 16-3, not the best result for TIKITAKAN, but I guess if they're unprepared, we did think at the time it was their pick, but if they're unprepared for it, it does make a bit more sense. Now, moving into Mirage, as you said at the turn of the break, they should have a bit of a better idea here. A lot of teams, a lot of players are really familiar with this map.
And also, yeah, the pick bans just make way more sense this way, as TIKITAKAN does have a 100% win rate on the map, with only 3 maps played in the last 3 months that HLTV knows of, obviously. But they have beaten the likes of Honorous, Seaman, and Hard Legion, with Gambit Youngsters not being slouches on Mirage themselves, as you said, beating recently the last 4 matches. Cyber Legacy, Navi Junior, Lingby Vikings, and Budapest 5, all, well, 2 of those being at Malta Vibes Cup 4. So probably going to go their way anyway, but it is definitely going to be a better match than the first. I mean, a better map than the first one, as it was just a clear stomp. TIKITAKAN being forced to ban, Vertigo, their perma ban, had to go into Overpass, which they were forced into it, but we'll see what they can do on Mirage, man. I have high hopes for them here.
Yeah, I would be happy, I think, with like a double digits being hit, and it's definitely a learning process for TIKITAKAN, this very new lineup. Of course, knife round underway in a few moments here. We will be getting into the action shortly. Excited to see how it goes down. And yeah, I think we're all hoping for a bit more scrappiness, a bit more competition between these two teams, because it definitely seemed, although looking good initially, TIKITAKAN bringing it close, picking up a round, eventually it got to a point where Gambit Youngsters just had their number and were just walking all over them, to be perfectly honest. So I hope for them they are able to bring a bit more competition, and like I say, learn something, pick up some newer strats and whatnot, maybe, or just general fundamentals from Gambit Youngsters.
And hey, if it's their main map, I think they could have potentially looked at Gambit's demos, obviously, and we could be seeing some counterplays that Gambit Youngsters really can't afford. I mean, they can't afford to just spend all this time anti-stratting, much lesser teams. Usually, they just go into the server, play their own game if it's that kind of balance skill. Whereas the underdog here in TIKITAKAN obviously being a little bit favored in that respect. We'll see. You can see by the odds here on our betting partner loot.bet, they are not favored, but we'll see what they can do. I mean, if they have Gambit's number, if they have some kind of meta defying strat in their back pocket, I'm sure they can catch them off guard, and probably not going to be seeing that on the pistol round, as those rounds are a bit more simplistic than the normal ones. And we'll be seeing 2 smokes going down onto A, and execute even with the bomb. Just 1 CT that can see them all the way back in CT spawn. He does go down. Out of connector comes Tushan and gets Shiro.
Okay.
Gets another one onto short and enters. That's pretty good. The bomb being planted on A. Pretty much 0 chance of a retake from Nafni and Exil. They don't seem to really be going for it. Just looking for some exits, perhaps. Build some bank, save that, get on Nafni. And 2 flashes.
I really like this. I really like this. That was a great pistol.
Just a quick execute onto
yeah, and the
onto
double
A.
nade's a really nice idea. Obviously not completely original, but like it's still nice to pull it out from time to time. And then the perfect timing from Shushin, I believe, coming in from connector to find those 2 kills, one initially, and then of course spins around to get the second. So his play, I feel, really sealed the deal, locked the site down completely.
Maybe they saw, like in the demos, that they like to go for a retake on the pistol. So smoking off everything and double nading that CT position where you would usually leave someone for the A retake, definitely a good idea.
So many teams love the A retake for sure. So it's perhaps an effective counter to that. I mean, we've seen like Furia, their T-side pistol on Mirage is a little famous for countering the retake play. But really good stuff. And what they needed, and this round as well, also what they needed. Clean as you like. He says Inter's only manages 1. Definitely could have had a little more there, but not going to be the case. Oh, nice KZ in. Nice to see you've got the practice in, Nafany, of course, and not going to fluff it up the first time you try, but immediately dropped by Dejur, who was ready for that play. Really solid stuff here early on from TIKITAKAN. I'm happy with what I'm seeing, and Mirage already shaping up to be a much better map from them.
We're going to have to see a little bit more than the early game, though. Once the full buy rounds come in, we'll really see what TIKITAKAN are made of, especially against better competition. As Nafany buys a Zeus. I believe that's what it is. Wonder where he's going to go with that. Gotta love a Zeus every now and again. But yeah, in the previous round, their big Gambit, no pun intended, having a scout and connector, he went down pretty fast, and that's basically where the round was over at that point. But in this one, an A take already on its way. Shiro having a nice crossfire here from Underwood, as Super does get 1, but every CT drops eventually. They will all go down, as Interns is the only one left here in CT, hiding behind the box. Probably going to be peaked. Oh, he was jump peaked though, so Jur might not be ready for him. Nice headshot from Inters. Gotta love those, but now that his position has been revealed, goes down, and this is where the big boy rounds start. All the weapons, all the grenades. Let's see if TIKITAKAN can handle the pressure.
Time will tell. Looking really, really solid here, to be fair. But yes, this is the first true test, you could say. A bit of a random element, particularly to the T-side pistols, and that's given them the room to work with here, almost. Who's the smoke there? Nafany in and around. They're on top of each other. Don't quite realize it yet. Nafany's inside a smoke. There's so many smokes here. Dejur doesn't really seem to have much of an idea. Great flash coming over the top, and they line up for him, but the body block of the blinded player saves the life of Shushin. The kills do seem to be going the way of the T side, but one well-timed strike here from Axile or Supra could really turn this around. Look at these HP bars. Look how low they are. Certainly not said and done just yet. It's all going to have to be Axile. Does manage to find the first. He's so unsure. Is it B? Is it A? Does he actually want to go for this? Of course, doesn't have all that information available in the same way that we do. And it looks like he's actually going to save the AWP. So it will be TIKITAKAN getting the fourth, getting the first rifle round. The speed, the pace actually works out for them.
Yeah, maybe if he hung on to that M4 and went for the retake. If he knew they were this low HP, maybe he would actually go for it, but even so, saving the AWP, definitely not a bad move. Especially since in the next round, his team is not going to have that much money to go around anyway. And as the rest of his teammates may go for like a Deagle buy, MP9 perhaps, trying to get to those close corners, they will need someone that does the long corners, and the AWP is excellent for that, especially if you just want like one person to watch mid, maybe go for some aggressive picks. That's definitely a good opening gambit. Again, no pun intended. And we will be seeing that kind of buy, a CZ, a Deagle, 2 Deagles, I believe. Well, let's see how Gambit youngsters spread themselves out for this quite special round. Mid aggression going to be no underground aggression with the CZ. That's definitely where you want to put it. While the AWP is stationed there in connector, Shiro does get one onto Shushan, and the CZ pick just masterful as Shiro gets another one, and that was every win condition I listed before. That's just TIKITAKAN falling one by one to these scrappy weapons, and Gambit youngsters picking up AKs on top of that. So their economy is going to be secured for a while, as Aben just tries to save this AWP to keep their economy stable as well. But with a minute remaining on the clock, I'm not so sure he's going to survive in Nafni with a unexpected angle, perhaps getting him on top mid.
There you are. Gambit youngsters. Does take them a little while, but they're able to get the foot in the door. Buy still available for TIKITAKAN here. Certainly looking to answer back really quickly here, Sermon. I think they have an awful lot of momentum, looking a lot cleaner, a lot better, and obviously they've already beat their rounds. It will be a fast response, though, and Gambit youngsters ready for this. Not sure if this is the best response. Really quick, really early execute burst, getting ahead of the smokes, not baiting out any utility, and they've lost 2 players already. Half HP for Palmy as well, so really not looking too good. You managed to trade a couple back, 3 back, in fact. Okay, I feel like, yeah, Mirage is so much better for them just in terms of the playstyle, the chaos, and everything. It's not said and done just yet, but it's now down to the B rotators. Great dodge of the flashbang from Axile. Great pickup coming in. They don't really have utility to cover off any of these angles, right? That was their last piece of utility. Great flash across. As Inters does spot them out, I don't think they've quite clocked that he has crossed in here. And they're just going to use the utility that they have left to take them down. The nade, not quite able to finish anyone off. It does so much damage. The molly as well, going to push them out for Axile to finish off. All on to Palmy. See whether he can get it done on the AWP. Oh.
Had he taken the shot, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and that goes true for Palmy. Goes down there at the end. Yeah, just a very scrappy beginning. Props to TIKITAKAN for going through, but Gambit youngsters with a masterful retake there at the end, just using every bit of utility they had, playing patiently. TIKITAKAN waiting on that bomb plant a little bit longer than they probably ought to have. But we'll see what they can do in this round. The buy not as good as before. Shiro blinded, gets the kill with the op anyway, gets another one. Ooh, the drop down shot almost working out. Almost feeding an AWP to the T's as well, but that would have been too little too late anyway, as it's all down to Shushan now with the salvaged AK. All in all, TIKITAKAN could have picked up an extra frag that would have been nice for them, just for putting pressure on the CT economy early on. Ah, you hate to see those.
Awkward. Hellcase, of course. Our primary case partner. Shout out to them. None of this would be possible without them. And they've got 2 codes for you guys to use as well. Malta V15, extra cash, as well as a 15% refill bonus. There's a banner down below. Take you directly to their website. Either way, solid buy coming in from both sides. Gambit youngsters hot on the heels of TIKITAKAN. Definitely giving them the run around early. But we did see once Gambit youngsters were able to stabilize on overpass, they really ran away with the first half. So TIKITAKAN maybe flashbacks of that coming in. They will be hoping to hold on to their lead and keep things competitive on the second map. Axel, though, he's got other ideas. Going to catch Palmy off guard. Creeping in, hoping to maybe spot ahead, maybe spot someone in transition. But in fact, he gets a taste of the medicine he was hoping to dish out. A very early pickup for Gambit youngsters. Very clean one as well.
Yeah, really not a fan of that move. He already made noise in apartments, going for a solo pick at that point. just really not going to work out most of the time, especially since you can't expect 2 CT players to be set up on B. Maybe he calls in short, like back up from short. So not a high percentage play overall. But B apartments now not very relevant, as this attack seems to be heading toward A. Look at the positioning, 1 in window, 1 in connector. As I say that, 1 in window goes down, and that's significantly worse. But the A take still on its way. 1 kill coming out of Palace is traded though, as Jungle gets killed as well, and we are going to be seeing the bomb trying to cross into the site, but it just takes way too long. The bomb going down in connector. Shushan with everything to do at this time, and I believe the CTs also know his location, but maybe the angle is just tight enough for him to get it. Doesn't though. Shiro expecting him completely, and Gambit youngsters tie this up 4-4.
Very quickly as well, right? Able to get that foot back in the door. Like we said, TIKITAKAN definitely looking good. Credit to them. The Gambit youngsters proving once again why they are kind of the favourites here. That adaptability that I talked about at the top of the show coming to a full head here, and hopefully they will keep it going. Time will tell, but I'm confident, and I think they are confident as well. TIKITAKAN, meanwhile, the ball in their court, not in this round, but in the next, they will have to come up with an answer. Any damage done here, pretty solid. If they can get a bomb plant as well, would be great. Army's managed to find one. Aben kind of out, but of course tunneling, super able to drop him easily. I think they'll be able to seal the deal. Trying to go for mid control with little to no utility is very, very difficult, and I suppose there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, but
also,
nonetheless,
with what little utility they had, that one Molotov that they did have did miss the window. So
oh wow, okay,
you really don't want that to happen, because otherwise the CT would have been caught off. He would have had to smoke the window, obviously, but you know, he would have been neutralized. No kills would have been coming out of window in that sense. But sloppiness already creeping in for TIKITAKAN, nerves settling in. They know they basically won most of their rounds off the back of that pistol, and that's not a comfortable place to be when you're already out of the lead after the 9th round. And as we go into the 10th round, a double up setup on the T's. This is starting to get spicy here, Scriv.
About to get very spicy indeed. Okay, here we go. The speed not working out this time. The CT's trying to match the aggression and just getting ripped apart all across the map. 3 very different, very easy kind of kills. Axile trying to fight back. Not going to happen, though. Not a single frag coming in. This has been a real turnaround from TIKITAKAN, and definitely what they needed in the middle of this first half. Super, the only one left all the way on this A-bomb site. Looking to save, but well, even that's going to be a difficult task. Time going to be everything. Oh, jumps the gun a bit early. He does manage to find the kill onto De Jure. Should be able to make it away here. And in the same strain, TIKITAKAN don't really want to dedicate too many players. The double up setup, not a lot of cash in the back pocket. So maybe ill-advised to go fully hunting for this. But it really doesn't make a difference if they kill him or not. It's an A1S. They have money to buy, right? It's not like... It's comfortable, it's cool, it's nice, but it's not going to affect the next round in any way if they take him down or if they let him survive.
And look at that. Every single surviving team member of TIKITAKAN got a kill that round. It was very much team effort there. They just went across the map, got a kill everywhere. As they tie this one up, but oof. With the double op setup, I wonder how many more times it's going to work, though. Because right now, the Gambit youngsters were caught off guard. You don't expect to see a AWP in apartments every single round, obviously. Maybe now they're going to be more cautious, but as I say that, 2 are creeping toward ramp, trying to gain some information, perhaps. Trying to set up for a take, as the CT is on the A-bomb site playing really far forward, with the T's still sort of chilling in T-spawn and middle, as they haven't really taken it yet, not knowing it's basically theirs already. It does look like they will be going into A in the long term. One player in Jur boosted into window with one other player in palace. It looks like this is going to be most of them going through connector into A once that smoke clears. Maybe going to make some noise onto B just to keep them on their toes. We're seeing where they get a kill. Nafni going to be clearing this window position, knows there could be someone here already. Would behoove him to check the left side as well, and Shiro spots one in connector. Ooh, and the jungle player has been rotated away, so now his back is completely exposed to the player in window, but he's not moving forward anyway, so... Ooh, spots his feet, gets traded though. As Shushan gets another kill, and we are in a 2v4. Aben picking one up before I could finish that sentence, and now the two CTs in a crossfire. The T's still going for this A push, and Supra, if he picks up a few here, he might just get him back into the round, only gets one and gets traded though. As the bomb is going to be going down in a safe position, and Shiro, with his position given out, probably has to just save the AWP, but murder hole position, not going to be exposed after all. Shushan jumps through the window. Ooh, but he is pushing towards short B though. Maybe Shiro won't expect that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he heard a scope though, because now he's being super cautious about short.
Must have scoped in like around the right time. Just playing it very, very safe. So, I mean, that's wise. We talked about last round doesn't affect the economy too much, but this round it definitely does, his personal economy, as well as the fact that he's holding on to an ore. So he really needs to survive.
Does. And the money looking okay for Gambit youngsters that can go for a full buy. Still a double AWP setup, of course, from TIKITAKAN. Seems to be working out so far. They've started winning full buy rounds. As they go for middle and B apps control. Just clearing out mid with two players and underground. And in the long term, the bomb probably going to be heading toward A, as they do have a player there in T-spawn. Who is showing some presence so that middle keeps being unobstructed. Although from this angle in ladder room, if they're not careful, they might... As every single round they've boosted someone into window, this time Axial might be ready for it. We'll be seeing if anything crawls through that smoke. On his cam, gets Kyrie in the transition. And TIKITAKAN on two players down, really no way to refrag anyone. Are just gonna have to execute on a bomb site, maybe push ramp to get some kills, a lifeline. Bomb heading into connector as well, and with three players guarding the A bomb site with one on B short to help cover connector. Very much a disadvantageous position. Nafni goes down in jungle.
Oh, Shiro waiting around on the site. Gonna have to pop off here. Manages to find one. Trying to bait things out. Looking good. Okay, I was gonna say it was dangerous for him there. It kind of isolated, particularly with losing his teammate on wood, but all good in the end. As he buys time for the rotations, not taking too many risks at all.
Good to see them countering the window push, as it does seem to be like a very fundamental part of TIKITAKAN's strategy here. Leaves you with a lot of options. You can go A or B after that, after you have a player present there. The window guy can just be like a menace, making noise in jungle and other stuff. TIKITAKAN not going for a double op setup right now anymore, as they have run out of funds for that kind of indulgence. Gambit youngsters still just taking it easy. All players on bomb sites. Mid control not very interesting for them at the moment. Will be interesting to see if they ever flip, if they ever start contesting middle really. Maybe TIKITAKAN will get sloppy. Maybe they'll start saving grenades. They won't be doing the full execute, as it were, to have something left over for later.
Looking good here, though. I really like the way that they're approaching some of these rounds a little slower, a little more methodical and thought out. Baiting utility from the CTs, keeping their attention drawn on A, although with the advanced position from Nafany, I'm not so sure that they're really sold, right? They're definitely not rotating anyone across. You can see the B positions are solid here. Axile, a slight change from him. Been playing Get Right quite a bit, but Short being held down by Shiro perfectly as well. Picks up one, able to get away. Axile, meanwhile, the apartment's on lock. The flank unsuccessful. And a nice change into this round from Gambit youngsters. Very subtle, very small, but they move Shiro across the B. Not later on in the round, not as a rotation, but initially they swap his position, I believe, with Nafany. And although he only gets one frag, it's just the presence of the AWP that makes the difference.
Definitely, and also not putting anyone into the ladder room, as TIKITAKAN have checked it this round where it was empty, so that's part of their mid-take now, checking for that specifically so that the window-boosted person doesn't get killed. And we will be going into the penultimate round of this half with a save round coming in from TIKITAKAN. Kyrie getting a Tech 9 for his troubles. Is this a rush B no stop?
Looks like it.
You do like to see those, no?
Oh, no. It's a contact B.
The
Which,
matchmaking classic.
yeah, honestly, is even more of a meme. Like,
because if you do a rush, no one ever commits to the rush. Everyone commits to a contact, though, because no one wants to be the one guy that stays behind.
yeah. And it's also very clear. It's like, right, we're doing a contact B. You guys know what that means. Are you ready? Here we go. Utility coming in. But, of course, not successful at all. Didn't really need to talk about that one at all. Gambit youngsters just meat grinding it, just ready and waiting. I think they had 3 players there initially as well. So, pretty easy stuff in the end.
Yeah, that's about what happens to me when I try that on matchmaking. But it's about the only call you can do. Although I do like Mirage in that sense because it's one of the only ones where you can call a smoke execute. Everyone knows the A smokes. At least the stairs. So you can always do one of the ones that someone doesn't know. Enough about matchmaking though, we got some pro CS going on. 3 smokes raining onto A with flashes as well. Very few players, uncharacteristically very few players here on A. Supra though, you want him to be there if no one else. Sneaky position, he got checked but didn't see him. Only gets 1 for his trouble though, as Jer gets 1 as well. And it's a 3v3 retake situation. CTs on one of them on the flank in Nafany, such a sneaky player, always in these positions I find. And he is poised to get a double here with neither TIKITAKAN player really looking out for him. The AWP, okay, he hasn't turned as fast as he probably should have, but turns in the end. Right eye advantage, Peeker's advantage, working in favor of Nafany there. As Aben, he does have the lineup for the defuse. Ooh, almost. Doesn't get it though. A 9-6 scoreline here on the half with Gambit youngsters winning it out.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fair though in the end. Like, Gambit youngsters look like the better side for sure.
Oh, definitely. I mean, TIKITAKAN, they did have a lot of formulaic plays, I would say. Like, it seemed pretty much the same every time with minor variations. Gambit youngsters just adapting to it, as you said. Relocating one of the players to B. All that good stuff. And if we look at the kills as well, no one really falling behind, even enters with only 5 kills. I mean, he only died 6 times, so he's not exactly being a burden to his team. Meanwhile, on the other side, only Aben and Shushan doing anything of note. But maybe on their own map pick on the CT side, it will go better for them. And While our betting partners at LootBet don't actually think that, the odds reflect that Gambit youngsters will win this one easily. Do you agree, Scriv?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like it's going to keep on going, the momentum that they managed to build up. You also have to look at the fact that TIKITAKAN, although it's only 3 rounds in the difference, 3 of the rounds that they have came off the back of the pistol. So when the rifles are in play, Gambit youngsters have looked a lot more dominant, and Shiro starting things off greatly here. Sandwich, surely a one-and-done spot. I don't see him getting any more than this. He won't. So solid advantage, even better. Axel just charging forwards. 3 in just about as many seconds for him. Army going to be the only one left, and he can't hit the shots. Dropped as Axel gets his 4K. Clean as you like coming in from him, as he's having a pretty damn good showing here. Pretty solid on the B-bomb site as that anchor. And then an explosive start. That's for sure.
Well, with this big of a round deficit now, especially since Gambit youngsters will probably win the following rounds as well, and the CT economy being what it is, I don't think TIKITAKAN crack 10 rounds in this game. As optimistic as I was for them before on Overpass, right here on Mirage, their pick, I don't think they have what it takes to really keep Gambit youngsters back, especially since they are also good on this map and will definitely keep them on their toes. A little bit of a B stack going on from TIKITAKAN. Deagles all, well, not all of them, but congregated there nonetheless. As a B site hit looks like it's on its way. Not really going to connect on the first one, but it might give them a false sense of security as 2 kills come in. Will they expect more players to be present? Aben gives it away, and he falls before getting anything done. The low HP is present, but somehow Jur gets the one player that isn't tagged down enough for a 1-hit kill. And he does go down in the end. Gambit youngsters not losing that many players and just keeping all that money. Very scary if you're TIKITAKAN right now.
Yeah, really looking solid from them. Really looking solid indeed. They will try and keep things going. Probably going to be successful. At least in this round, should be easy enough for them. A few more opportunities for TIKITAKAN with the rifles and whatnot coming into place soon to close the gap here. Love this, though. We're going to see a flash over the top, a few P250s. Smoke as well to play with, so this could definitely be a bloodbath. It does seem like Gambit youngsters somewhat ready for it. Supra's crispness continues. Meanwhile, Aben coming in from lower. Okay, hello. Almost getting the second there. Super pretty lucky to be alive. And we are seeing some nice capitalization here from the rest of the CTs. You know, catching these distracted players off guard. It looked like, and it's very easy to fall into, particularly against a buy like this, where it's like, oh, there's 3 coming through connector, must be the entire team. Maybe there's 1 flashing over, sure, he's a bit late, but they wouldn't expect a guy from underpass, a guy in at window. So kind of smart in that sense. It does look like the storm being weathered, though. Ooh, Super needed to pick that one up quickly on 4 HP. A little awkward, but all the same, Gambit youngsters not taking too much damage. No saved weapons. A bit of extra kill bonus for a couple players is all TIKITAKAN can take away from that.
We'll be seeing what they can do on these full buy rounds, though. AWP on both sides. We'll see what they execute on. Looks like it's going to be mid-control to start with. The standard opening. Ooh, as Shushan misses the op flick. Mid retake probably going to be coming in. They did throw some utility over, but before that can even begin, Nafni gets a smoke. Gets a kill through the smoke. And they did slow it down now. With the man advantage, there's no hurry. You know the CTs are probably going to be going for a trade, a retake of a certain area of the map, that kind of thing. While one of the players does indeed push ramp. Although the action will be concentrated a bit more to B. And he does hear the footsteps of Inters, and he can call that as information. Ooh, doesn't get the spray down, though. And Carey manages to get one for himself. The B take on its way. Nafni a little bit more forward, sneaky as he always is. Gets the Opera off guard, and that's the round over. But Gambit youngsters on 13 with TIKITAKAN seemingly with no answer. The bomb doesn't even have to explode in these rounds. Doesn't even get planted most of the time. It's just over.
Ooh.
Just a nice shot from Palm there.
Yeah, lovely opener. I mean, the thing is, though, a round like this, and particularly with an opener like that, I think they're going to need to convert it. If they want to have a decent chance, they want to ease some of the pressure. So, we'll have to see here.
Yeah, Aben already low on the sole Galil player already low, so that's a bit of a bad sign for TIKITAKAN already. Although they are a man up, but with Gambit youngsters being so well equipped, they are still probably in a disadvantageous position and crawling toward A here. Only one smoke to execute with, a bunch of flashes though. I wonder where it's going to find its use. Maybe for the after plant, as they can just explode out of ramp and Palace not be particularly punished for it. These Deagles, they might find one, but as soon as one of them reveals himself, he is likely to get swarmed.
Likely than not, for sure.
Oh, as all the CTs just rotate toward B at the worst possible time. Palm here can't even find one because he was in transition, and well,
that really sucks, man.
Yeah, all the grenades right now being used up. Didn't even have to do it initially, but ooh. A little bit of a jinx on those flashes. Gambit youngsters do come out on top though. You think TIKITAKAN can still make it to, I don't know, at least 10 points?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, right? There's, oh, okay, I was going to say there's still a chance of this. Robert Supra is
no,
a bit of a beast right now.
Being that low HP as well, if their position was known, those two Ts that were just looking from far away, they could just hide away and, you know, peek out, spam randomly, would have gotten down. Pretty low percentage chance to get anything done there. Whew, Supra. Speedy boy.
All right, here we go. Double up setup. This could make the difference. This could make the difference, to be fair. TIKITAKAN, I think, gonna look to catch them with this, pick them apart.
Yeah, they're going for mid control, though, and while the take is going on A, flashes rain down. Smokes do as well.
Here we go. We'll see how it goes. I mean, there's only two of them to hold things down. De Jure in at Sandwich, hiding away. Oh, looks up at the wrong time. That's so awkward. Aben the only one left on this A site, at least for now. I think the rotation actually has come in pretty quickly, but still need to hold things down and buy time. Maybe even find some frags for good measure, and they will do so. 3v3, just like that. Meanwhile, over at B, they're really not sold on the fact this is a bit of presence here, and they've not seen the bomb off the back of this execute. Really well read from Gambit youngsters. The question comes in the execution. Can they find the shots here? That's the real issue. And the answer will be no. Barmy gonna sit strong over at Get Right. 2 easy shots.
Yeah, just masterfully played. I mean, they had the presence of mind to keep at least one player there. He was, I suppose, on the fast rotates to look at the cross on site, perhaps, if the A take did come in. But staying on B, just a crucial move there, as he just stays on the off angle, waits for them to cross and picks them off one by one. Shushan as well. Double op setup really doing work this round, isn't it? Maybe the answer they were looking for.
Yeah, I think so, right? And I feel Gambit youngsters really not, like I say, expecting it.
Although, being 7 rounds in the lead, that might alleviate some of the pains with having to come up with something against the double op setup. I mean, they can now guess that they're basically going to be going for mid control a lot, as that's what the AWP does best. But as I say that, they do stack each bomb site now, setting up these tripwires, waiting for the T's to come into their crosshairs. Not going to be happening just yet, as they're setting up in connector behind a smoke.
Oh.
Even though... Ooh.
Okay, a little too tunneled in on it seems, and the strike comes in perfectly here from the T side. Really well done as they shut everyone down, even the rotations. And that's the answer. That's the answer. The old bait and switch. They seem very sure of the fact that there was someone in ramp, but they were already putting a lot of pressure over at connector. And like I say, too much tunnel vision from TIKITAKAN. No one watching middle at least well enough. There might have been someone from short, perhaps, but it really didn't look like they were prepared for the connector push at all. Map and series point going to be hit pretty damn quickly here. Gambit youngsters looking to get the swift kill on TIKITAKAN and move into that final up against Na'Vi Junior. So really going to be interesting if we do end up there. There is still time for TIKITAKAN to come back, but 8 rounds in a row plus overtime is going to be difficult. That is for sure.
That is an understatement. I was optimistic for them on overpass. Right here, though, my optimism has been shriveled away. I have seen them misplay way too many times. Their CT strat's just not really working out. Gambit youngsters out aiming them at every turn. This round already going their way as well. I mean, Supra and Nafni are low HP, but not really going to count for much when you have the big man advantage. And there are going to be 2 CTs here checking out B. One of them an AWP though, so he can get a kill and then just fall back very quickly. Interesting to see if this angle works out for him, though. It is quite expected, and they know they like an AWP in these sight holds, not even putting it on mid. Ooh. Exactly, a jump to bait out a shot. Palmy doesn't even give him the baited out shot, but he gets shut down by interns. No, he doesn't. The camera shift confused me. As the B bomb site is surely in the control of the Gambit youngsters. Palmy gets one. Can he get a few more? No, he can't. Shiro picks him up. And with 2 low players still in the game, this can go their way. Jerd just has to find 2 kills in quick succession now. That's a win condition. And that's going to be the first. The second coming in onto site with both of them still low on the T side. This could have gone their way. Oh my god. Shushan picks him up with the deagle, and now looking for the final remaining T. Not sure where he can be. Enters. Doesn't peek fast enough. Shushan might have this, and he does.
That was almost takes him down as well. That's so awkward. I think the information there, the mind game, as it were, is they're on a weak buy. Surely he doesn't have a kit, is the thinking. And with 10 seconds, a flash comes round. You probably get off of that. You know, he'd only been on it for 4 seconds when that flash came in. So you probably get off of that and expect a peek, or, you know, go to turn away or whatever it may be. But not the case, so...
Definitely mind games going on there. No flash to assist this top mid peak though. Goes down in the end because of it.
Bit of a weird exchange. Seems to have really slowed down since. Oh my goodness. Dejure lucky to be away. They've also lost the connector control once again. Last time completely unaware. They rinsed the round off the back of it, did Gambit youngsters. This time seemingly a bit more aware, but Dejure's on 5 HP and he's about to have the wrath of the entire T side, or at least what remains of it, coming his way. I don't see him getting out of this. Okay, nice shot coming in. The rotation, like you say, is in at CT. So the 1-for-1, not all bad there. And they don't really have the utility to keep Palmy at bay. The bullets will do a good enough job. Lucian here on the AWP, looking to maybe find another. Really got to play this well. I think they could both swing into Connector. Inter's going to push forwards, gets the flick onto Kyrie. That is beautiful stuff. And maybe they'd expected it to be B or something. I'm not quite sure. Shushin to keep it in with a 1 versus 2. They've grouped up. They should be able to get the trades in. This is not looking too good at all. He's onto the Deagle. He's got no info to work with. He needs to check Connector. Could he have gone mid? It is kind of planted for Connector. Swaps across to the AK. The pace picks up, but Axile will find the tip of his head. And a 16-8 coming in. The 2-0 overall. A very swift 2-0 as well, it is worth noting. Of course, Gambit youngsters will move through to that final, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, to join Na'Vi Jr. Better